fractures and like fucking a concussion, some other shit. Like she was crazy.
You know, this is a good segue. One of the things that I enjoy talking to you about is your thoughts on unionizing pro wrestling. Now, if there was a pro wrestling union where wrestlers were protected in some way, would that include like health benefits? Like, how does that work?
Absolutely. I mean, in an optimal world, you know, the better the benefits, the more we're gonna have to fight, and that's just Union 101. It's just organizing and then fighting for your rights. So yeah, like for instance, that referee upstate, he snapped his leg, and there was nothing for him.
He just snapped his leg. That's it.
He was like
Right.
just a regular referee.
Just a regular referee. And he had to pay all those medical bills himself. And of course, the community came around and rallied and I believe helped him out. But that shouldn't have to be. It shouldn't have to be the community rallying to help you out. That should be covered. You know, that happened on the job. But
was this an indie promotion or was this?
Yeah, it was an indie promotion. Mm-hmm.
I mean, but you can even see that, man. That I could say even sports leagues, man. Let's look at what just happened with the NFL with concussions, man. With that original deal they settled when they presented to the judge, and the judge made them go back, and it was like no more, like what they know, what you know now, and what you hid, like no more. And even still, what some of these guys say, man, trying to get help still is crazy, man, and it's wild. It's even to think of like the NFL, multi-billion-dollar, all these teams now, billion-dollar entities that you guys can't cover insurances for people that have put their bodies on the line for you for entertainment.
They're worried about their bonuses.
Entertainment.
They're worried about their
insane,
Christmas bonus, bro.
It's insane, man. But you would even see that in any sport, bro. Like they say, like some of these other guys, like if you're not in for a certain amount of time, you don't get a chance at a retirement plan. Like,
do they have
these
one?
guys don't.
No, not yet. But we're working towards it, man. That's so what the IWW is when I rebranded to Industrial World Wrestling, that was a nod to the original IWW, the Industrial Workers of the World.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pro labor union that it's member organized, and its sole purpose, it's not a trade union or anything like that. Or a craft union. Its sole purpose is to help other workplaces organize and unionize. And they're really, what's the word? Diligent in the fight towards, making sure the working class is the ruling class. And they do a lot of great work. I'm a member. I'm a red card holder. And actually today's September 2nd, I believe, right?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I've got my orientation. So I'm officially a member now. I was just kind of an appreciator of them, but now I'm in, and we're gonna move forward with unionizing professional wrestling. That's something that I aim to do, and that's gonna end up being my life's work, because that's not something that's gonna be done overnight or in a year. That's gonna take years.
I mean, just union work, man. I don't know much about it, but the little bit I do, man, there's always something, like there's always some sort of shady element attached. Are you worried about any of that or getting, like, I don't know how to word this right, but anytime you hear about unions, there's always some sort of shadowy, like, shadowy element of some kind. Are you worried about at some point maybe something like that happening or anything? Are you prepared for that?
It's a valid concern, just because, in the past, unions, they were run by the mafia, or at least associated with the mafia. There was a lot of political implements behind it. And also, then you look at wrestling. There's a lot of shitty people in the wrestling industry, on the other hand. And while unions actually are a more civilized practice now, wrestling is still, they're still years behind. They're still full of shitty people. But that's one of my main goals in unionizing pro wrestling, is to get the shitty people out, get like the promoters that are carny. I don't know. That's an insider. Do you guys know what carny is? Like a promoter who's just looking to make some money. Trick? Doesn't care if he fucks you over. You know, to get those guys out, get the professionals in, get the guys who are looking for the best in the industry, looking to do what's best for the industry, to get those people at the forefront and get rid of the shitty promoters and get rid of the shitty promotions, the indie feds that don't follow the guidelines, that put people at risk of getting hurt because they're not following protocol, they're not going that extra mile, they don't put their product together that looks nice. Things like that hurt the industry and put a bad name on indie wrestling. That's why there's professional wrestling, and then there's independent professional wrestling, indie wrestling. And that's why that barrier exists, because people look at a major indie like MLW or an AEW or a Ring of Honor, and they see what it is. It looks like a professional thing. Then they see your local show, and it's held in a gym somewhere, or it's held at a Elks Lodge, and there's 10 people there, and the guy in the ring hasn't had any professional training, and it looks like shit. And a lot of people, they'll see that and they'll be like, wow, this is really garbage. This is terrible. I'm never coming back here. And there's so much good independent wrestling that looks really good that doesn't get the shine.
Yeah.
Because of the people that put that mar on the business.
It's crazy because when I was putting together the spreadsheets for when I was trying to do the Roach TV wrestling show, I'm downloading clips from like over 130 different promotions. And you'll just see, like, this one is fucking crazy, Titantron and all that shit, and then this one is in front of Walmart parking lot, like, and just the difference in caliber jumping from one promotion to the next, and they'll probably be just a mile away from each other. Just
and also,
Christ.
That promotion with the Titantron, probably some of the wrestlers that are on that big league show will probably also wrestle for that show, that show that's the polar opposite. And it's all about having standards. It's about, not a big part of unionizing is going to be a livable wage for independent wrestlers. Or hopefully, eventually, they'll just be called wrestlers. They won't be independent. But because these guys, they don't get a livable wage. A lot of guys get paid a fraction of what they're actually worth. And so he's got to go, or she's got to go and wrestle at that local shitty indie show. Just to help pay the bills. Like, you can't turn down a booking because you're not getting paid enough. So you got to go and wrestle at a shit promotion.
But I mean, that's kind of like the livable wage was like a big part of the conversation. I remember them talking about.
So essentially, all of these promotions are benefiting off of the fact that wrestlers haven't unionized. So they are against a union being created. That's why it hasn't happened already?
I don't think I don't think that's why it hasn't happened. I think it hasn't happened because it's going to be, like I said, a lifetime's worth of work, and nobody's ready to make that commitment. Or some people are and just maybe might not have the resources, might not have the knowledge on how to structure a union. I admittedly don't at this point, but I do work for a union. I work for Local 28 here in NYC. That's the sheet metal union. And I do plan on using all my resources there to help me learn how to structure, get help from the IWW, the Industrial Workers of the World. A major part of what they do is to help their members organize their workplace. So I'm going to use that resource. I'm going to use the resources from my local. If I have the knowledge and if I have the resources, I will have the dedication to do so. To make that my life's work.
Yeah.
Hopefully it doesn't take a lifetime. Hopefully I can get it done soon enough so that the people that I'm coming up with right now and the people
benefit from it.
Right, the people that pieced me into the game can get those benefits and reap those benefits. Hopefully it doesn't take 50 years like some labor movements have.
Shit, man. It's crazy to think of that. Like, there's rights still workers fighting for today, man.
Yeah,
with certain shit, man. Certain unions.
Absolutely.
It's a noble effort, man. And I hope you the best, man. Anything, obviously,
Appreciate that.
Bud&Roach can do to help you, man.